This podcast is rated ES for extremely silly and may contain bad words, bad jokes, and other bad content that is not suitable for children. Or maybe it is. We don't know. We're not their parents. You're listening to the Starforge podcast with Scya and Mal, two nerds who have a lot to say about Star Wars: The Old Republic and all its features. Rest assured, the podcast is working as intended. This is Episode 7. Whatever happened to Baby Trapjaw? Hello, Swotor players. I am Mal.
And I'm Scya.
Scya, what's going on? What is it like where you live for Halloween? Because Halloween is coming.
I don't know. I don't have any small beings in my presence now that we've moved. So I don't know. We live in an apartment now. I don't even know if people do trick-or-treating from house to house. Are you all ready to go for that?
Are you kidding? Where I live in New York, we live for Halloween. Shit is bananas here. The decor is incredible. There are two houses in my neighborhood that articles have been written about in the news because they are so intricately decorated. People are coming from other boroughs to see these houses. It's crazy. I love it.
Okay, but how is your house looking? Are you looking on a 1 to 10 scale? How are you doing for New York specifically?
For New York specifically, I don't know. We're like a 3 or a 4. I've got some lights up outside, but I didn't have a lot of time. I didn't have a lot of time this year. And a lot of the stuff I had couldn't go outside, but I already have a lot of stuff inside. And if I buy any more Halloween decor at this point, my husband is going to kill me.
We like I mentioned, we just moved, so we're like trying to be so careful not to buy any extra stuff, extra clutter. So my husband apparently went to the store and saw a single adorable pumpkin and did not buy it because he was scared to clutter up the house.
Oh, I have shit everywhere. It's amazing. It's so awesome. And we also moved. We moved last year at the beginning of December, so I didn't really put out my Halloween stuff because I was frantically packing. So this year, we went bananas. So yeah, we are well decorated here.
I've been really wishing I had something to go to where I could wear a costume because I'm a little too old for trick-or-treating. I don't know about you.
A little bit. There's tons of parties here. Tons and tons of parties. Especially now, people are vaxxed. There's all kinds of fun things to do now. So
Are you and Mr. Mal gonna
I
dress up for
will.
Halloween?
He doesn't really do that, but I will. I'm going to be Stevie Nicks for Halloween.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you got for a costume for that?
I got a blonde wig and a big black floppy hat and a long black dress with like lace over the top of it and bell sleeves.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I guess that's all you really need,
Yeah.
right? That's not what I was expecting. I thought you were going to go with something a lot more generic.
No.
But no, never.
So I read an amazing Reddit post the other day of a person who went from level 1 to 75 completely as a pacifist in the game.
Oh,
And normally I read the headlines of this stuff and then I'm like, doesn't really interest me. I read that and I went, I'm going to click on that and see. They legit went all the way to 75, not killing a single thing in the game. Not a little flappy bird that's yellow in the background, not an NPC, a mob, none of it.
I am so excited about this project because I've been following it since the beginning. So this player nickname is Shintar, and she actually runs a blog. I mentioned it in one of the previous episodes. It's called Going Commando, and we'll have the link in the show notes if you want to go check out her blog. She basically just talks about her journey in playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. And this specific one, this blog post that Mal actually saw is called Maximum Pacifism Achieved, where she went literally from 1 through 75 without killing anything. And I remember I've been following this for a long time, but I couldn't remember how long this project has taken her. And she started in 2019. We are now near the end of 2021. It took her about 2 years to very slowly on her off time level up this pacifist character, mainly on places like Dantooine.
Damn, nice guys do finish last.
I feel like double XP was probably her very much her boon on this project.
Well, I don't think I could ever do that. I just, mow everyone down in most of my playthroughs.
We're going to be talking about a lot of different types of combat and gaining XP in this episode, but that is not one of the things we're going to be talking about.
No. But speaking of mowing things down, Scya, I decided that my Feast of Prosperity grass was getting a little too high.
I'm glad you went to go mow it.
Yeah. And you know what else? I couldn't mow solo. The mower had like 16 seats on it.
So what do you do when you can't mow solo? You got to get a group of 24 and you got to learn how to disappoint other people.
Disappointing other people. Seriously, world bosses. You were asking me the other day, are they fun? Are they fun? Me to be with 16 to 24 other people? No, it's not fucking fun.
Okay.
It's not fucking fun.
Okay, so we can set the premises for this. World bosses are something that you can fight with large groups of people out in the open world. Right now, they're especially popular because of the Feast of Prosperity event, but we're going to be talking about them in a more general way because they're available all year. Mal would like them to be available zero amount of the time, it sounds like.
No, they can be there for other people. I don't want them, but other people can have them. Take all you want. Although really though, when you're new to the game, who hasn't been out on Tatooine and found that little skull and was like, hey, what's this little skull? And you click it and go, oh my God, what the fucking fuck is that?
I feel like it's a rite of passage at this point. Either that or the one on Voss.
Yes!
Like, if you haven't clicked this, have you actually played Star Wars The Old Republic, or did you just lie and tell me you did?
One of us. One of us.
Oh, so they really vary in terms of difficulty. Like there's some you can definitely take a group of 4 players and just go bang on it till it dies. Take you a while, but it'll happen. But there's some like that one on Boss that's real hard.
Yeah, that one actually, I sat down and really thought about world bosses, and some of them are really fun. Because way back in the day, the Nightmare Pilgrim, we did that all the time. That was a regular thing. Nightmare Pilgrim was like the old school nightmare crystal almost. We would go and kill the Nightmare Pilgrim, get that buff, and then immediately go into our content, for that night. It was awesome.
Right. So when the game first came out, there was all these world bosses, but you mostly just needed a big group. That was about it. Not really any skill or experience or anything. But this boss, this Nightmare Pilgrim on Voss, was a challenging fight. You had to bring a specific number of people, 16, which was back in back at the launch of the game. There was not many players who were even the right level for that yet. And it has very strong mechanics. I like to tell people you could very easily kill yourself, and everyone has to learn how to not kill themselves in this fight. And what's crazy is that even now, this fight is incredibly difficult when you have a group of newer players rather than experienced players. And I love that. I love that so much. I took a group in recently, and it took us at least an hour to be able to figure it out, and then we were able to farm it 3 times because there's a mount associated with it, right? That you can go get, the Aerotech Coral.
Oh, yeah. I think so. The one that's part of that set of killing whatever it is.
Yeah, certain world bosses. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just the fact that there's a really difficult, like all the other world bosses are so easy, and then this one all of a sudden just kicks you to Kingdom Come. I love that so much. What were some of the other ones that you were talking about that were really hard there or more interesting?
More interesting, Dreadtooth, especially when you buff him up several stacks. It starts to get fun. At like no stacks, you can do it with like 3 or 4 people. It's not anything. But once you start putting stacks on him, wow, it can get a little crazy. Lance Squadron. I've only done that once.
That one. Oh my God, the lag.
Yes.
I don't know. So that one's on Yavin 4. You may have run into it when you were doing maybe the dailies or something like that. And oh goodness, I don't know why the lag is so bad there. I don't know if it's a Yavin thing or that specific boss, but it is just a slideshow, and you got to have a huge group of people, and you're not even guaranteed to succeed.
No, I was tanking. It was the lag was horrifying. I was like, I'm jumping in. I'm taunting. I don't know.
I think I got it.
Guys, I'm pressing a lot of buttons, so hopefully some of them are going off on this boss.
That one's a cool one to do, but a very hard one to find a group for, huh?
And then, God, remember the ones on Ossus?
Oh, no, well, sort of. I'm so sad. I kind of missed the boat for that. Like, I caught the tail end of people running those bosses on a regular basis. Did it drop crystals or something like that you could get new endgame gear? I don't really remember. Or there was a quest or something.
Yeah, there was a quest when you did both of them. It gave you the currency crystal so that you could get the end game gear. But God, we did all day, every day to the Ossus bosses.
Right. It wasn't particularly hard fights, but you wanted to do them specifically for the rewards at the time. Now they're like pretty much obsolete. Like I've never seen anyone fighting them for a very long time now.
No, they're completely obsolete now. Nobody does them.
So those are some of the more interesting ones. But what are your actual favorite ones?
Oh, mm,
I know you love Nightmare Pilgrim.
yeah, probably just Nightmare Pilgrim. Oh, oh, listen. That reminds me, we forgot to talk about the world boss on Ziost.
Oh, scary guy?
The monolith. So if you're going to pull hard mode, what is it? Veteran mode, monolith. You first have to kill the world boss outside to get a buff from it. So that you can.
That's a very interesting one. So there's an ops
Yes.
boss on the planet of Zias, which is part of the Shadow of Revan expansion. And like Mal's saying, if you want to fight it, you first have to fight this world boss out in the open world. And that one, actually, I wouldn't say it's the world boss is hard, but it does require like a certain amount of people, and you need to pay attention to mechanics. And it looks really cool. This guy's huge. He's got like a giant fiery breath or something too. I can't think of any other mechanics that are like that, where you have to go fight a world boss first and then go do the ops boss.
No, it's very unique that you have to do that. And he's challenging only because he's got those 3 little ads that come out.
Yes.
And the 3 little ads, you can't just mow them down. You have to burn them evenly so that they all go into doing their little, I don't know what they do. They stand around and take out their thermoses and have coffee while they regen. And
They do. They just sit there and relax.
yeah, they chill out, and then you can focus on getting the boss down. I mean, it's a rinse and repeat kind of thing.
I know what they do during that time. They read the Going Commando blog by Shintar.
Aw, they're learning how to be pacifists.
Oh, so I love how many super easy ones there are and then super hard ones, because I've been taking groups to go do all the easier ones lately, kind of for fun, especially because it's something you could do with lots of people. And then if I want to challenge or I want to really show people something that they haven't seen before, we go do these harder ones here.
I also like that one on Corellia where if you die to him, you get unlucky. And then when you win, you get the lucky title.
Yes!
That's fun.
That's the
fun.
best one. I've been telling people, don't go get the unlucky title while I'm running my group, so I'm going to be pissed, though. I'm going to kick you out of the group if you die for the unlucky title.
Oh my God, they'll be on the Swtorista shit list.
That's a lie. I tell them to go get it. Please go die so you can get a fun title.
Oh, jeez. Oh man, speaking of that, Scya,
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell a story about the world boss
Uh-oh.
Monolith, because it came to me today. Okay, have you ever heard the phrase "fuck around and find out"?
Oh, yes. Did your group do so?
Oh yeah, so we were gonna go do hard mode Monolith. So first, we're going to go. We're pulling the world boss. We're fighting it. Well, some imps showed up, and they were very upset. Super upset.
Because they wanted to go do the same thing, huh?
Yes, they did. So instead of just going to another instance, they were just being real salty and telling us, just let us have it, get out, blah, blah, blah. All right, so they decided to fuck around, and they found out. So some people will be, upset about this. Oh no, we're trying to fight this thing, and they're messing us up. Not us. Not my friends. My husband was tanking, I think, with Bam, and they were trading taunts back and forth so that even if one of the imp players was trying to taunt it off them, nope, came right back, so he wasn't doing that fire cone all over the whole group.
Yahoo!
I think me and Norin were healing. Meanwhile, our DPS, Vaz, Elros, Solek, were managing the ads because they were trying to get them to burn unevenly. So, but that's okay. We were just swapping off, they were just swapping off targets to keep them burning evenly, and then they pretended to give up and say, like, oh, okay, fine, guys. You win. You have it. And all of us in Discord are like, yeah, we weren't born yesterday. You little shits.
Didn't just fall off the Ziost potato truck.
Yeah.
They're very
so
bad
they pretended
potatoes.
to give up until about 10%, and then they started back up again hardcore. But for people like me and Fender, who come from Final Fantasy Online, which we talked about last time, this happened all the time. This was like a part of this was an extra mechanic to the fights in Final Fantasy Online. Who's gonna fuck with you while you're pulling this world boss? Who's gonna drag a whole like stream of trash through the zone to aggro onto you while you're doing this boss? So we were used to it, and we killed that thing, and they were so salty. Oh, they were insane. You shitters, you suck, you're wasting the buff. You can't even beat hard mode Monolith. P.S. You can look at our achievements. Okay, 5 out of 8 people in the group already had done it.
Had already done it? Oh my god.
Had already done it. Whoa, okay.
Can you imagine logging into a game and that's how you spend your time? Okay, I'm very intensely familiar with this type of behavior too because I started off on a Star Wars The Old Republic server that was PvP. Like everything was like this. And the Nightmare Pilgrim was one of the worst because there was only so many types of content in the game. And for whatever reason, we scheduled our Nightmare Pilgrim run at the exact same time as an Imperial group was putting together. So not only did we have to worry about keeping Nightmare Pilgrim in check, we also had to fight off Imperials at the same time in giant groups. Like, wow. I think we eventually kind of reached a bit of a truce. Like, we do like 3 tries and then they could have it because otherwise no one was getting anywhere.
Did you like bring your raid group and then bring a separate support group?
No,
to fight off the other play, because we would have to do that sometimes. Like there would be
that would have been perfect, but we were a smaller guild, so we struggled to find those 16 just to do Nightmare Pilgrim. I think whenever we did have 1 or 2 other people around, they would come and scout for us or try and cause extra havoc in the background.
Wisdom's fucked around and they found out, and I can still taste their delicious, salty tears.
So good. You bottled them and put a little bit in your coffee every morning.
I do. Oh. So, Scya, tell me, are these besides the Feast of Prosperity, are these worth doing?
That's a super interesting question because up until very recently, the answer was just a resounding no. Like except for some of the later ones that we talked about that have reasons to do them that are more difficult, all the earlier ones gave you nothing. And it's a hilarious bit of drama because the developers over the course of like 3 different patches tried to give them rewards, but every time did not fully succeed. So they'd be like, these bosses now reward tech fragments. We'd go try it out. Maybe like 3 people in a group of 16 got a single tech fragment for killing an enemy. And we were just like, I don't think this is what they meant. Then they managed to add these rewards to about a quarter of them, then about a half of them, and only recently do they all seem to actually give rewards. And now the rewards are actually pretty good. Like, I'm not saying go replace this with your daily runs of Hammer Station or anything like that, but if you happen to be in a group of players and there's a world boss going on, you're going to get, at level 75, you're going to get a crate of gear. That seems to be a pretty decent one. And you're going to get 25 tech fragments. And if you have an organized group that's kind of hopping around from boss to boss, that's a pretty good way to get gear, especially if all 24 people are getting that box of gear if you got a full group.
24 people can all receive a crate of crap?
Yes, they can. And 25 tech fragments.
Oh, man. Stop the presses. I'm quitting all my raid teams to just pull world bosses from now on.
Other than that, there's like some achievements. There's that AirTech Coral mount I was talking about. For the most part, though, they are not reward heavy. I think they were always just kind of meant to be a little thing you could go do with a big group, not meant to be something farmed or anything like that.
You ever do that pirate guy on Mech Shah?
I did. He doesn't drop anything either, does he? And he takes a year and a half.
Fuck, that was the biggest disappointment of my life. We were down there with a big group. They're like, oh, man, let's pull this guy. This is new. It was when it just came out. Like, oh, let's pull this guy. It's new. God, we fought him. He has like 87 million health, and he spawns turrets and all. You try to last as long as you can and wipe and then respawn and come back. And we finally killed him, and he dropped a single crate of crap for everyone to roll on.
Yes, one for everybody, not one each. Just one.
Wait, just one. Just one.
Just one.
Crate. And the person that won it, we were like, well, open it. Open it. What did you get?
What's in it?
A 304 enhancement.
Right.
And a 302
Exactly.
mod.
I remember I was running groups during that time period where it would drop a single box for all 24 people to fight over. And it was just like, it's almost an insult. It would have been better if it just dropped nothing whatsoever.
I know. There's a lot of stuff in this game. Why do you give this to me? Why don't you just come to my house and spit on me instead of giving me this? Same thing. Scya, I want to know, what are your favorite world bosses to do?
I felt like such a butt because my favorite one is Nightmare Pilgrim for a lot of the same reasons that you said. I like that it's difficult. I like that it has a lot of nostalgia. I like that you have to really put together your group for it. And then there's the idea of back in the day you'd want to run it before you go and run Operation 2. So tons of like really good things that I like. But you see, I like chaos more than anything else. Like, don't ever ask me, how would you, Swtorista, fix the game or fix this part of the game? Because I'll be like, pick the option that causes the most trouble. So, my favorite world boss outside of the really difficult, interesting ones is I really like the Coruscant world boss. And that is because it causes the most chaos. There's something broken with it. I actually put out a video recently because I was trying to figure out how it actually works. It has some type of mechanic where the idea is that 2 random people will be selected. If they're a certain distance apart, they'll be safe. But if they stay too close together, they will explode. You should run away from each other, right? Like, it makes sense. But what actually happens is when you take a group is within the first few seconds of the fight, 2 people will automatically die. 30 seconds later, 2 people will automatically die. A minute later, 2 people will automatically die. You have no idea who it is and you don't really have any advice to give them. You can just sit there and laugh. All you can do is put together a group that's big enough that they will survive 2 pairs of people dying multiple times throughout the fight.
Oh, that's funny. I wonder if it's because you push it so fast. Maybe it's putting out those.
It seems to be on a timer, and the timer functions fine, but the mechanic, I think, I had a really hard time figuring out what was wrong. I think it's because the amount of damage you take is hard-coded when it comes to the mechanic versus being based on your current HP and stuff like that. And when level sync happened, they never updated it. So it basically just one-shots you instead of being a gradual thing that you can run away and avoid the mechanic.
Huh.
I could be wrong. I'd love to know more.
I wonder, like, if you pop a DCD, could you live?
Nope. You die. I was like, you get like 3 seconds if you're lucky. If you even see it, you don't even get like a warning or
I don't
anything.
know. Maybe we're going to investigate. Huh.
But that one, and my favorite in terms of cuteness is the grandfather boss, the big old Bormu on Balmora. He's just this giant creature that's wandering around in like the Balmora Ocean Imperial side. Giant Bormu.
You like to kill the grandparents of the Bormu?
He's adorable, but I realize that's not so cute that we have to go kill it.
Oh, well, Si's gonna kill it now. The Bormu old folks' home. And slaughter all the grandparents.
No geriatric spice for you.
Sheesh. Scya, how do I get in a group if I want to do these God's forsaken world bosses?
Right, we're talking about this interesting activity that you can go do in a group, but the hard part is kind of finding a group. So, in the normal time of the year, right now, as we mentioned earlier, it's the Feast of Prosperity event when we're recording this. It's actually quite easy to get groups for specific world bosses, like basically the boss of the day. There's groups forming all day, every day. Just look at general chat, and someone will eventually post that they have a group, or you can post X LFG world boss and on planet or on Narshadon, you'll eventually get in a group. It just happens. But in terms of the rest of the year, or if you're looking for a specific boss that's not the boss of the day, it's really hard. I don't really see people putting groups together most of the time. Sometimes you'll see it in allies or LFG chat, but that's about it.
When I was doing this to get my achievement, Scya, I was forced to make my own world boss groups.
Wow. Okay, so what did you do? And did it work? Because I know putting together a group can be really hit or miss a lot of the time.
So it's really easy. You just sit there. Well, first I would run. I would run to whatever world boss we were doing so that I was in place to summon. And then I would say, while I was running there, looking for people, this world boss, X up. And then anybody who did an X, I would just add them to group, add them to group, add them to
And
group.
is that for
add them to
Feast of
group.
Prosperity or the rest of the year? Oh, gotcha. Okay, so for
Yep.
Feast, it was pretty easy for you, yeah, to find people, huh?
Yeah, it was easy. And then you just say, I will summon. And then in Gentrat, instead of looking for people, it becomes last call. Last call for world boss, because I am not going to build that group for longer than like 5 to 10 minutes. Some people, God, they sit there and be like, no, I want to really fill to 24 people. Fuck, why?
I'm really bad. I like to fill up my groups just so we
Why?
can get more people involved. So sorry if you ever had to be in my group and you were impatient and you had to go pull that boss and then I kicked you out of the group last minute so you didn't get credit. I'm sorry about that.
No, I wouldn't do that, but I would wait. I'd be annoyed, but like the thing is there's so many people, logging in and logging off. My God, just do it and then it'll be up again in 1 minute. You can log in another character and literally build another group in 5 to 10 minutes.
So for these Feast of Prosperity ones specifically, you only need 4 people. That's it. It's going to take you a while with 4. You might want to get like 8, but that's really all you need. But I think a lot of groups are like me. They want to fill up that group of 24 more for the social fun aspect, if not for the efficiency aspect, that's for sure.
I mean, it is efficient, but if I've got 12 people, we're going to pull it.
Oh yeah, it's faster to just pull it with 12 than to try and fill up the other 12 slots.
Keep it moving, people. Keep it moving.
Chug chug.
Time is money. Time is credits. Credits are life.
So personally, I've been putting these together. I've been trying to put these 24 groups together for fun, and I try and fill them up as fast as I can. So I usually start off with a group at least of a couple people so that we have something started and I'm not inviting all by myself. But during Feast of Prosperity, it's not too bad. Then what I do is I say specifically, doing a group for this boss, can summon, no gear, skill, experience required, just have your ship. I found that people are more likely to respond if you say what the actual requirements are. For example, you might get some random noob who will come help, or someone who's maybe 75 but is scared. They don't know what it is. They don't know if they should help or not. But when they see that, they're more likely to join. And then what I do is I press the up key after I post it in like general chat. You press enter and then the up key and it'll copy paste your message into chat again. And I repost it into my guild chat or any friends chats or whatever like that. And I also post it for Starforge. There's a chat channel custom called Allies. There's one on Satiel called Endgame and one on Darth Malgus called LFG. There might be some more, but those are the ones I know the most about. And then someone who's maybe on like Nar Shaddaa when you're on Hoth can come join too. That's about the quickest way I've seen to put a group together is just really spam it and invite people and summon.
That's awesome. You're so nice. I'm just like, exit up. Let's go, people.
I used to play in the morning. I noticed there's not quite as many people around during that time. When I log in on the afternoon, it's like, oh my God, there's a 24 world group already filled up in like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
Well, if it's one thing SWTOR is good for, it's disappointing. Mal, time and time again. And in this next segment, what a surprise, Mal has something else to rant about.
This weekend, You Can't Make This Sith Up. Toborro's Courtyard. For all of you who spend more than 30 seconds on the fleet in a day, you might have noticed that 75% of all group content seems to revolve around Toborro's Courtyard. You see, this fight has become very popular due to the large amount of rewards one can receive for being bored to death for 5 to 6 minutes. In a recent trip to Toborro's Courtyard, a healer, whose name has been redacted to protect the integrity of her guild, was told that she could not, in fact, solo heal Toborro's Courtyard in story mode because it was too hard. When the healer woke up after blacking out from anger, she found that after 10 minutes of waiting, the group leader still had not found another healer. Another 5 minutes passed, and just as she was about to unplug her internet, lo and behold, a healer appeared in the group. Then began the dance of queuing, unqueuing, re-queuing, and repeating this queuing process until Toborro finally showed up in the box. After 30 minutes of waiting, the fight had finally begun, but as soon as the tank pulled the boss, the second healer said, I'm spec'd DPS, just FYI. The fight continued, and by the end, miraculously, some way, somehow, surprisingly, in an M Night Shymalahn style twist, everyone had f***ing lived.
So aside from a good 5-minute nap while tanking, I have to say Toborro's Courtyard
While
is
tanking, while doing anything. Go on.
Toborro's Courtyard is good. For one, this is the worst segue ever. I'm sorry.
This is the best segue ever.
Let me start over.
Shut up and read what I wrote you.
All right. So aside from a good 5-minute nap, I have to say Toborro's Courtyard is good for one thing, and that is giving those sweet, sweet renown points.
Flying solo.
All right, today in Flying Solo, we're going to focus on renown points and gaining them a little bit when it comes to group content, but mainly doing solo stuff.
Yep, because now is the time. If you're going to try to go for that achievement I know Scya's working on to get every class to 100 renown, and limitless. Double XP still going on. Scya will talk more about that in the news, but now is the best time to do this because I don't know if they're going to do another double XP before the Axe Pack. Maybe, but can't be sure.
Right, so there's 2 achievements related to renown. And renown is a way of gaining gear at level 75. Basically, do any type of content. Once you do enough of it, you'll get a box of gear. But there's also levels involved. The levels don't really have a lot of meaning except for these achievements. And we're not sure if these achievements will still exist after the expansion or not. Past expansions kind of point towards no. But of course, we never know. So quite a few players, including myself, have been trying to get this set of achievements before the expansion pops. So Mal, I know this is something you've actually already done. So what do you have that I'm very jealous of?
I have every class to 100 renown, and I have one class to 999 renown points.
Which is absolutely insane. So the first one, where you get each of the 8 classes separately to Renown 100, is called Renowned All Around, and you get a title called Everybody Knows My Name, plus a whopping 20 cartel coins. That's not even
Yay.
nothing to write home about. And what does your 999 one get you?
It is a lovely legacy title called Limitless.
So you get to show off on all your characters for getting one character to 999. And so we're clear. This can only start being earned at level 75, and it is not fast. On my highest character, who I took a while to get to 75 and start earning renown, and who I don't really grind, I've been playing her this whole time, and she's only 400 something, and I played quite a bit. I wasn't like specifically looking for renown, but I'm on her quite a bit. So getting to 999, roughly how long did that take you? Do you know?
I don't really remember, so I'm going to guess it wasn't too long. A month? Maybe?
Really?
Double XP on and off.
Meanwhile, I'm at rank 400 over the course of like a year and a half or more now. Oh my God.
That's just casually, doing stuff. You're at 400 already if you're going to make an effort, Because our friend Morgani, she's been making a big effort to really buckle down and try to get this renown. It's really important to her. And I think she started around 400 and I think she's at about 800 now.
Oh, she'll get there.
And it's only been like a week or two.
She'll get there before the expansion for sure. And like, I'm going to laugh so hard if so many people are making this effort and it doesn't even get retired or reset. But the one I've been working on, I am not going for that 999 thing. I actually made a pledge to myself at the beginning of the last expansion. I wanted to try out different characters because I always just play my trooper and I wanted to try out everything else. So recently I've been trying to get to 100 renown on those 8 different classes. So I've got my troopers done, my consulars done, my inquisitor actually just dinged 100 today. That was real exciting to log in and see. And the rest of mine are all in the range of 40 to 50. So I've got quite a bit of work to do on leveling them up. And Mal actually has a ton of advice that she wanted to share specifically on her journey to 999, but this will also apply to you if you're looking to get either just the 100 one for one of your characters or the 100 for each of your 8 characters. So Mal, I've heard so much advice. The main advice that I hear people say is just go run operations, go run Hammer Station. And the idea is you want to maximize your XP per hour. Renown is XP in this case, but you need to also not go crazy. So how did you go about doing that?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really like to be disappointed by other people on a regular basis, so I avoid the flashpoint queue at all costs. Most of mine did not come from flashpoints or from really even playing with other people, although I did often play with Vaz. So if you got one friend, that's great. That's buddy system.
But you can do it. You can do it alone.
You can do this all by yourself. You don't need anybody but yourself and your companion. So here's what you're going to do. Number 1, you're going to pick your character that you've kind of already got a high renown on. Because when I started on Mal, she had 400. She's my healer. I could respec her DPS. I don't really even think I bothered doing that. But don't start from 0 or you're going to have a bad time. Then what you're going to do, get your stronghold bonus up. Mine is 150%. Get it up there. Also, by the legacy bonus to renown levels.
I'm an idiot. I did not do this on my characters until very recently. So this is the improved renown experience boost in your legacy panel. It's going to cost you about 3.5 million for all 5 levels. But if you're actually going for Renown 999, you should be rolling in credits from all the content that you're doing, whether it's dailies or operations or whatever. The only other requirement it has is you need to be legacy level 25 to unlock the final tier. But if you're not that high yet, you can still unlock the earlier tiers.
Right, so you need to unlock that. Next, you're going to go to the vendor if you don't already have them in your inventory. You're going to spend credits and tech frags to buy the renown boosts off the vendor. Buy the purple. Don't be cheap. This is you're talking about. Treat yourself. Also, if you are friendly with a guild master, if you're in a guild, ask for the ship renown bonus perk. All right, so heading into this, also, look at the daily bonus in the activity finder. We're going to throw a picture of this in the show notes because I had forgotten all about it when Morgani was telling me about it. Also important because that's going to dictate what you're going to focus on and if you are going to save weeklies to hit that bonus to maximize your points. So it also helps to do this on the character you play the most. Like I said, it's going to have the highest renown and it's going to be your main. Your main for everything. If you go on a raid, that's your main. Story mode raids, that's great to go on. You know, this is more solo content, but look out for it in chat. You know, if you can hop in a TC or a Hive Queen story mode, hop in those. Don't be afraid. TC, we already know, that's a 5-minute nap. Hive Queen, also in story mode, nothing to write home about, and a lot of trash, which means a lot of renown points and no mechanics. Also, if you manage to have one more person with you, Fractured Master Mode can be done with 2 good people and your companions, 15 minutes for a great reward. So what I mostly did for mine is really 3 things. The Eternal Championship gives really good renown points for something you can do pretty fast, and heroics and dailies. I have a spreadsheet for Imperial and Pubside heroics. I have made notes of which ones I have found to be the fastest, and I've kept data for a non-stealth class because that's what I have. Obviously, if you can stealth, a lot of them are even faster than what I have written, but I did it for non-stealth. While you do the heroics and the weeklies, you're going to complete the planetary kills. The bonus has 2 tiers, so you're there anyway. You might as well get the max number of points by hitting those kills. Also, some of the heroics have super easy bonuses. If you feel like they'd be super fast for you, tack it on. If the bonus is to kill 10 things and you've killed 9 things, kill 1 more thing. Get those bonus points. Some of them, honestly, they are too tedious. Skip it. Don't do it. Move on to something else. Once you do the weekly, the next day you can go back. Just focus on the absolute fastest ones and the 2 kill tiers. Don't even bother doing the rest of them. Dailies, same thing. Zerka, 10 minutes. Don't even need gear. You can be naked. Ziost also can be done in 10-15 minutes. Black Hole, also 10 to 15 minutes. Those are the only ones that I do, unless there's a bonus for daily areas. Then I'm going to tack on Yavin, Ossus, and Section X. I never do Iocath because I hate that entire place. So if you love Iocath, go for it. Otherwise, Mal says, fuck it.
I made the horrible mistake of trying to combine Iocath with my Renown gang because I don't have the Iocath reputation yet. Bad life choice.
That whole place sucks. Why is it so hard to get around there? But anyway, those are really the only things I did. I didn't queue up for flashpoints. Didn't do it. Admittedly, I did do raiding because that's my main and that's what I do. So that also helps. But if you're alone, you can just do those and be a happy camper, limitless.
So in short, you're going to want to get your conquest boost so you can get conquest every week, probably just by doing the other things in this list. If you're willing to do group stuff, you can go do the store mode operations with lots of trash or jump into Toborro's Courtyard or Hive Queen for some really fast stuff. If you have one good friend, one buddy, you can go run the Fractured Master Mode Uprising. And specifically solo, you want to go run heroics and dailies, which will get you conquest and a ton of renown XP and Eternal Championship if you're able to run it fast on your character.
If you have a friend, Eternal Championship has a solo plus mode. So you can get 2 of you in there killing that stuff. It goes super fast. All right, so Scya, that is my sage advice. I'm going to share my spreadsheet on heroics in case anyone is interested on what I personally think are the fastest, and I also have notes on which ones I think are the easiest to quickly get the planetary kills. So that's it. You can be limitless without the need of a group of jackasses. And now I would really like to hear the news in Swtor. You heard it here last.
We have not had a ton of news from the developers, but as expected, we're kind of just waiting for news about the expansion, which I'm hoping should be coming soon, as our due date for this baby is holidays 2021. We're at the end of October. Hopefully it should come soon. Until then, we're probably not going to get a ton of news. However, there are some great events still running. There's a Feast of Prosperity event, and that's the one we talked about involving the world bosses, but there is some solo mini-games as well. That's running until November 2nd. And Double XP, which also includes Double Valor, Double Renown, and Double GSF rewards, will be coming, ending on November 2nd as well. And that's it for the news.
Oh, damn, that's it?
That's it. That's all we got.
All right, yeah, I can't wait to know more about this patch. They're being very tight-lipped about the whole affair.
Yeah. I'm very curious if we're going to have any story before it comes out or if it's just going to be boom, expansion, holidays, 2021.
Maybe it'll be one of those ones like lately where I sit down, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this little story that they put out. Well,
I finally played them. I waited like months and it was over in like 10 minutes, all of the ones I saved up.
That's what happened to me. I was like, I've got my tea. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to enjoy there it went.
But before this podcast is over, Darth Null is going to be our next co-host on the next episode of the Star Forge podcast.
Did you clear that with me?
No. Darth Null, we don't know who it is.
I'm not having guests. I'm not editing a third person in this track.
What if it's Darth Jadis?
No.
What if it's Darth Malgus?
No.
What if it's Darth Swtorista?
The answer is no, Scya. Hey, Scya. Scya, do you hear a phone?
I do. That's weird. Mine's on silent.
So is mine. Scya, this is super weird.
Scya and Mal!
What is that? Scya and Mal.
Greetings, Scya and Mal from the past. Do not be afraid. We come with great news from the future.
Oh, God, it's horrible.
No!
Yes, darlings, just 12 hours after the recording of this podcast, BioWare will drop several major pieces of news into the laps of unwitting players.
Oh my God, are you serious? We just finished recording.
Yes, we are very serious. Here in the future, there are no jokes.
Yes, very serious. We've come to tell you that there are changes about 7.0, and we brought you this information from the future. There will be changes to stealth res, changes to the way set bonuses work, and most of all, we wanted to let you know about weapons in the weapon designer.
Why? Why couldn't you have told us this news before Mal had edited the entire fucking podcast? Farewell, my darlings, and may the Force be with you. No to you, no to me, no to this whole affair. I think we're done. We're done. What's in the water? In the east and the west coast. Guys, boil it, filter it. Something wacky is happening. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody. You've been listening to the Starforge Podcast with Scya and Mal. We know you have your choice of podcasts, and you chose the right one. For show notes and other information, visit starforgepodcast.com and hit us up on Twitter at StarforgeCast. We'd love to hear from you. Listen in with Google or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or on Swtorista's YouTube channel. New episodes drop every Friday, so mark your calendar and come join the party. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Do we want to talk about Halloween? If we kind of want to keep it evergreen?
Well, I mean, but like life exists. There's the...
No, life does not exist. Only Sotor in a perpetual state of nothing.